Hello, namaskar. It's me, Rajesh. It's now around 2:20 a.m. on Thursday morning, and I came up. I was thinking, my mind was thinking about a very new topic to cogitate and share, to evoke some responses from an audience, from a community, from a cross section of society. So this talk, I'm thinking about is politics and religion. Now, politics is a scientific governance of society so that people can be able to operate peacefully, coexist peacefully, and to live within man made laws. Now, from what I have known, right, there's been a long history of politics going back long. If we are to look at the culture, some of the ancient culture like Egypt, India, China, Tibet, even in Europe, right? The politics and religion have always been closely knitted together. For example, the Pope, he was actually a spiritual and political leader of Rome. The Vatican today, we have the Dalai Lama. He was the Buddhist Pope and he had an unchallenged authority during the early years. People respected him as an authority. That's before the communist era when he had to face opposition because he stood up against communism and so on. Then we have the Western Hemisphere where the kings, the monarchs, the rulers, they have always been influenced by the Pope, by the archbishops, the Bishop of Canterbury, and they've always had some religious colleague who can guide them or talk to them or show them points they cannot see beyond. Because the world has a veil, a canopy around it called Maya. And when you cannot see beyond that veil, you need somebody with a sixth sense, intuition, trained and pinnacle sharp senses to penetrate darkness, fogginess, illusions, and all these clever tricks in the political world. People like Morlin was in the court. Rasputin was invited by the emperor to stay in the palace. We had in India, they had people like Raja Janaka. He was an emperor and also very great enlightened yogi. Vishwamitra, Vasist were advisors to Dasrata. Raja Harishchandra, he went on a lot of tests and spiritual pilgrim under the direction of his guru Vishwamitra. So in China, we had also the Shaolin Temple and the Taoists playing an important role in the government of China, the politics of China before the communist era. And in fact, religion was being used, for example, witchcraft in the West to protect the people, to protect the land, to give horrible medicines, to deal with forces and magical forces that people cannot handle. And even in Africa, also, people had a great fear for the tribalism or the shamanistic practices in Africa. From what one African Swami told me, said there was one time in Africa, that was around the 1980s, said many African leaders were going to India to meet gurus to get protection because of the black magic, witchcraft, and so on in Africa. Now we see the role of politics and how it affects religion in a negative light sometimes when the politics gets too overbearing, domineering, tyrannical. courageous religious people often speak out. They often are persecuted. You have the case of Franz Brandon, Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler, I think, used the Aryan culture, the swastika and the Aryan doctrines to get power and to get magical charisma to control his whole country. So he also had a number of Tibetan lamas, black magic, black lamas who were working for Tibet for Adolf Hitler. I heard one story from an ex-Vietnam veteran from America. He visited Ananda Marg one time and he said that during the war, I think it's World War II with Adolf Hitler, when they attack a camp, um, one of Hitler's camp, they found 8 llamas lying down dead in a row. They were lying, and each of them had passed away at the same time. So it was said that Adolf Hitler was employing black magic, and people, they were saying that each of them had their own spirit. These fighters, the Nazis, had their own spirit that was controlling or working through them. So we had religion and politics, they coexist, right? But people have to learn to use politics properly, and politics has to learn to use religion properly. So we have a perfect blend, right? When they say when the politician become spiritually inspired, like a Ashoka or Constantine, right? They could do a lot of work for the society in which they live in. Constantine, he propagated Christianity so much in the Rome and around in the Western countries. Ashoka, he was persecuting the Buddhists and eventually became a convert and spread Buddhism all over, right? So people who are influential and powerful, when they get converted to religion, they can do a lot of work. So religion, politics, it seems to have emerged out of religion also, probably because the Hindu tenets and Hindu books, the old books, they give a lot of pointers and a lot of um, knowledge, a lot of teachings about political statesmanship and so on, like in the various treatises of Manu, the lawgiver, and there's also knowledge about warcraft in the Danurved, the use of music that the politician employ in the court, singing, dancing, to inspire, create a proper environment. And so in India, for example, the religious priests and the shamans, they were employed in the court as advisors to train young princes in warcraft, in um, mystical knowledge, in practical knowledge, grammar, Sanskrit, medicine, and so on, right? And like Dronacharya, who were teaching the Pandav and the Kauravs, and you have the Gupta clan. They were very great warriors at one time. They were being trained by gurus and yogis, teachers, and even so. Politics have always have a close relation to religion, where people have to be governed, control way in an organized way. This became a study by itself, a political science where people have to study and learn the science in a mature scenario classroom. So when both are work properly together, we can have a better society, as many people contend that the use of the ethics and the proper use of ethics and the development of the character, the mind, the body, all of these help the young people to become ideal citizens, to become good conduct, become assets in the society, they become channel for higher knowledge and higher inspiration. So it's mostly that the religious side of life, it gives color to the society, it gives fragrance, it gives an aura of freshness, music, charm, and lightness. The people are freed a lot from depression, tense, and strife and division. But then you must have genuine religious people. When the people are not genuinely spiritual, things become more religious and dogmatic and ritualistic, mechanical. They become church goers instead of spiritual seekers. So people who do religion sincerely and practice religion, they have a great responsibility in society. They can make a great contribution to life also. And in many places where religion